Today, we are going to be making a delicious pasta, perfect for adults, perfect for kids. It was actually in my first cookbook, Wholesome by Sarah, and I get so many comments and feedback about this dish that it's a wonderful way to hide a whole lot of goodies that our kids don't really recognize or necessarily taste, but it means it's getting them into their little bodies. So I love it because it's not one of those kids' dishes where if you're eating it as a parent or as an adult, you kind of feel unhealthy because it's like butter and cheese and all of that. It's full of goodness. It's called my green monster pasta, and let's get going and I'll show you how to make it. So first step is you're going to get some zucchini and garlic on to the pan. So a good squeeze of extra virgin olive oil or olive oil. I'm gonna add my zucchini first. I don't wanna add my garlic first because it'll probably burn. So I'm just gonna add my zucchini, get that cooking for a couple of minutes, and then we add the garlic towards the end. So pop that in. We're gonna grab a spoon, a wooden spoon, and you're just gonna get that cooking away, turn that up. So you're getting a nice golden caramelized, and that's cooking over, you know, about 4 to 6 minutes. So that's been cooking away for a few minutes, and now the zucchini is nice and caramelized and it's starting to soften up. That's when we're gonna add our garlic. If you at any point think that your garlic's sort of sticking to the bottom of the pan or you're starting to smell it burn, you can always add a touch of water, just, you know, a tablespoon or two, to make sure that it sort of gets that garlic off the bottom of the pan. So add that in, and we're gonna give that a good stir with the zucchini until it's just cooked, and then this pan goes off and we blend up all our goodies to make the sauce. So this is it in terms of cooking your sauce. It's just cooking off this for under 10 minutes, and then that's all the cooking required for the yummy green monster sauce. Okay, so our zucchini and our garlic is beautifully browned there. That's been about 8 minutes or so. So I'm gonna turn off the heat, and then we're ready to get it all in a blender or food processor. Bit of skill here required, that we don't just slop it all over the bench everywhere. Oh, there goes some garlic. So you're just tipping all of those yummy, delicious, flavorful bits. The garlic's just cooked off enough that it's not like really potent, and you know when raw garlic can be super potent. It's softened up a bit and its flavour is relaxed a little bit, but we haven't burnt it, because garlic, when it's burnt, it can ruin a whole dish. So we've got our garlic and our zucchini in there from the pan. And then we've got some goodies that we're gonna add here. I've got some spinach. It's a handful or two. Again, if you're doing this with kids, you know, you're cooking for kids, you know what your kids are maybe somewhat gonna eat or not at all going to touch. So you can be the judge. You can always put more spinach. You can always put more rocket. You can always put more zucchini. Whatever you think they're gonna eat, you can add. But if it's for you, then I usually like to add some spinach and rocket. Then I've got some parsley, chopped parsley. You can use mint. I've also got some basil, but mint works really well as well. So it's a bit like a spin on a pesto. Then I've got some fresh basil. So I'm adding the basil to the food processor. Then got a little bit of stock. It can be vegetable stock, chicken stock, whatever you guys prefer. That's just to obviously break it down a bit and turn it a bit more into a sauce. Just gonna give that a little bit of stir. Might just stop there and see, we can always add more. And then I've got 1 cup of, you could do raw or roasted. I've got roasted here of natural cashews, so add those. So when you look at that, whoop, they're flying everywhere. I might stop there and see. When you look at the ingredients that just went into the sauce, it is a little bit of a take on a pesto. I just love cooking off the garlic first, because then it's not so strong, not so potent. And I think the zucchini adds a really lovely, subtle flavor to the sauce. And then we're gonna finish off with some lemon. So good squeeze of lemon. I did just notice that this lemon is full of pips. There goes one. I can't tell what's a pip and what's a cashew. Where's it gone? Oh well, hopefully it'll just get blended up. I won't give it to my 1-year-old. One tick, I just need my lemon. Oh here, this is what I should have used so that I don't lose the pips. Okay, good squeeze. Very juicy lemon, we love that. Ugh. God, it's popping out everywhere, the juice. I'm gonna hold the other half of the lemon, blend it all up, and then we're gonna have a little taste. I'm just going to add a bit of pepper. Again, if your kids are having this and they're quite young, maybe you don't want to add as much pepper, maybe you don't want to add pepper at all. Same with salt, little pinch of salt. We are ready to blend. All right, lid on, and this might take a while to actually all come together. We can always add more liquid lemon as we go. Okay. Give it a minute. Look at that color. Oh, we go. A little stuck spinach leaf just at the top. Ugh. So you can see it's steaming because the zucchini and the garlic were still quite hot. So at this point, I just love it. Look at the color. I'm obsessed with it, which is why we call it green monster pasta. It makes it a little bit fun for kids. Might get them to eat a little bit more of their veggies, but let's have a little try. Delicious. I do think it needs a little bit more stock and a little bit more lemon. It's a bit thick for me, but we'll also be, when we're cooking our pasta, we'll also be keeping a bit of that pasta water. So you don't need to make it so thin, but I'm gonna add the rest of that chicken stock and then a good squeeze of lemon. Fresh, yummy lemon to cut through the richness. Okay, and then give it one more blend. Here we go. Okay, have a little look now. Still a beautiful green color. Yum. And see, it's still quite a thick sauce, so we might need some pasta water, but that is a great base. Now we're gonna get our pasta cooking. Okay, so our water has come to the boil. We're gonna add any short form pasta you want. I really love spirals with this recipe because I find that it catches onto the sauce really beautifully. So I'm gonna use those and we throw those in. Okay, Google, put a timer on for 8 minutes. I find 8 minutes is a good time because we then put it into the pan with the sauce and heat it up. So you want it quite al dente so that it's not overcooked and starts to break apart and become mushy or fall apart when you put it in the sauce. Okay, so we've got our green monster sauce ready to go. We've got our cooked pasta that's just come out of the pot. And I've also got about just a mugful of the reserved pasta water before I drained it. That's just important if it's quite thick and you want to loosen it up, then that option is there. So I'm gonna add my cooked pasta to the same pan that we cooked the garlic and the zucchini in. Pour that in, put it on to medium-high heat, and then we're basically gonna grab our yummy sauce before the pasta starts getting too hot. And you can always, this is a great sauce to keep in the fridge for a couple of days, so you can always start small, start to stir it, add a little bit of your pasta water, stir it through. Might turn that down a little bit. Okay, keep that moving, keep that going. I'm gonna add a little bit more sauce. As I said, this sauce keeps really well, a bit like a pesto. You can always put oil at the top of it once you've poured it into a jar, but you can use it over a number of days. And a bit more pasta water. And stir that all through, warm it up, coat it all through, make sure everything's hot, and we're pretty good to serve up. Now I've got some Parmesan here that I'm going to grate in, but I'll also put some Parmesan on once we serve it up. And you can see here the sauce is quite thick, okay? So it is very much up to you what you want to do. As I said, you can add, I've still got half a mug of pasta water there. I can keep adding that to make it really nice and thin. You can put more lemon or whatever into your sauce to make sure that it's thinner, but I like it quite thick like this. I'm gonna grate some Parmesan. Yum, yum, beautiful. And then I'm gonna stir that through. And before I serve up, I'm just gonna squeeze in some fresh lemon juice. Left it over there. And I shouldn't be cutting straight on my bench, but I won't cut all the way through. And this lemon's full of pips too, so there'll be pips in our dinner the whole time, but that's okay. Grab your little and give it a good squeeze. And I always love a good crack of black pepper too, but obviously if kids are enjoying this, then you might just want to put it on your individual bowl. And you're ready to serve up. Yum! Green monster pasta. Smelling amazing. You can smell the garlic, you can smell the lemon juice, all the yummy greens that we've put in there. So grab your bowl and we're serving up. Yum. There's one. Just the best sauce. I find it coats the pasta. And that's what I mean about spiral pasta. See how it's just coated all, like it's got sauce in every rib. Holds onto the sauce beautifully. So there we go, we've got our 2 bowls. I'm gonna move this out of the way. If you want any more, what do I need? Hang on, pepper. Again, if your kids are having this, your choice. But a bit of pepper on top. I like a bit more Parmesan. Yum. Oop. Bit of a squeeze of lemon. How good is that? It's just a beautiful, oh, there goes a pip again. Talk about the pippiest lemons of all time. At least they're juicy though. I can't stand when you buy lemons and there's no juice in them. Check that out. It's my green monster pasta. And I feel like it is an all-rounder for kids, for adults. It's like a healthy, yummy sauce. Just gonna turn that off before my fry pan bursts into flames. It's got all that goodness, the parsley, the basil, the spinach, the rocket, the zucchini, the garlic, the lemon juice, all your goodies wrapped up in a beautiful sauce. And then you can use whatever pasta you like. If you prefer lentil pasta or whole grain pasta, if you're trying to be, you know, that bit healthier, go for it. But I just find this is the most wonderful meal if you want to eat a yummy, healthy pasta, but you're also trying to feed your kids and you're also wanting to just try and eat the one dinner and not have to make multiple dinners. Green monster pasta is going to be your best friend. Creamy, so tasty, full of flavor. It's going to fill me up. Just love, love, love.